man. I hope I live long enough to regret things. Armor won't save you!
This is gonna need all of us together!
Hear my
Free.
call! I'm on a roll now!
There you go! Don't let up!
Take this!
Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Let's hold on to your arms! Here I come!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me!
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
Glacial Spear! Here's the
Ruin! Get
Green Lancer!
I can carve through all! You're mine!
Lightning Orb! Alright, it's showtime!
Solid Storm!
It's weakened!
This ends now!
Air thrust! Mega Ray!
In a vine?
On a roll!
now!
In the wind!
Destruction!
Air thrust! Mega Ray! I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar! Will this help? Raging
You're mine!
Hold together, just a little longer.
I'm not done! Thanks for the sympathy.
Get it together, we need you in form. I'll bring you back. Perhaps now isn't the time?
I really don't.
That's gonna
Here I
start.
come! I'm not done!
Bring you back from death to bid.
Lightning
Lightning Orb!
You're mine!
Lightning Protection!
You're finished!
Thunderblade! Lightning!
No, try harder!
Damn it! I'm all stuffed up!
Here I come!
Greater Energy!
Hurricane! Destruction! Burn!
Laser Spear! Here's
I'm
the
not done! In the groove!
Outstanding form! Thunder Blade!
Lost in pain.
Dance in the wind!
Can't get out of this!
Here's a healing heart!
Destruction!
Stay with us!
Here I come! Death!
Lightning attack!
It's over!
I never miss! Thunderblade! Shield!
Eat this!
Will this mind if I do?
Here I come! Now you see what I can do!
Dance in the wind! Far enough!
Destruction!
Healing purple!
Swallow blade!
There for the stop sign!
Destruction!
Thunder
I'm
Spear!
sorry to be a bother.
We've all got enough. Like you got this one covered.
Yes, ma'am! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Striker! This could come in handy when crafting weapons.
What are those? They look like Shion's thorns, and with flowers, too!
Not real ones, though. They're just like that flower growing out of Rena.
We must be getting close to the Great Spirit now.
Hey, Rinwell, what was that thing you said about how a little bit of Dana's Great Spirit is inside all of us?
Right. That's why Dana's Great Spirit is so much more diluted. Weak, even. Whether it was a choice so it didn't overpower others, or just the way it is anyone's guess.
If that's true, then wouldn't it mean Dana's will could never form under natural conditions?
Yeah, sounds like that's probably the case.
So if Dana exists within all of us, then what if something occurred that brought everyone's hearts and minds together as one? That unity could potentially act as Dana's will.
You mean if everybody was, like, thinking the exact same thing at the exact same time? Come on, there's no way we could pull that off.
I know it's a long shot, but it might work.
Let's assume that's even possible for a second. Would it even be enough to fight back against Rena's Great Spirit?
If nothing else, it might be an option if we can't use the Renasalma.
Things are different here than on the surface.
That shows how deeply we've ventured into Rena.
And how close we've come to the real enemy.
I won't forgive you! Dance in the wind! Healing circle!
Swallow blade!
More for the top pile!
Destruction!
Just let
I'm not
Mega
done!
Ray!
Be careful, everyone. This one isn't normal. Rising armor! We got flyers.
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
All yours.
It's the Mega Ray!
This one's all
Sleep now,
mine.
you got company!
Not today!
More for the stockpile!
Now or never.
I'm on it!
Destruction! Can't get out of this!
Annihilation! Get on in there with you!
Do it!
Let me help! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There you go, Alpin!
It's time to end this battle!
I'm not surprised!
Far enough!
I'm not done!
Annihilation! Here, do it!
Rising still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
So here's a question. We came all this way to Rena on the assumption the Rena's Alma's here, right?
Just don't say it, Law.
Yeah, but I'm just saying...
I said don't.
I can understand why you might be concerned, Law. But you need to remember that there are people it affects more directly than you.
Oh, sorry.
We've managed to make it this far believing. Losing faith now won't do us any good. We're better off focusing our anxiety elsewhere.
Such as?
The Great Spirit. If Hevrecht 35's to be believed, our enemy won't just be handing over the Rena's Alma to us. At least, not without a fight.
Not only that, but that same enemy just gulped down more than an entire world's worth of astral energy.
Point taken. It may be strange to say, but when I'm fighting, or at least know what needs to be done, it helps me a lot. I don't doubt myself as much. So thanks, both of you.
Out of our way! Art expert coming through! Hit! Confiscated!
Talon Hurricane!
Lightning! Here! Flame of Fury!
Take this!
Airborne beast! My special! Where are you going?
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours
I'll
truly!
take you all off!
I'll be saving you one!
Escape! It's over!
Here comes
Destruction!
now!
Here I come! Mirage!
Sweet now!
I'm not done!
Here's
Mirage! No escape!
Thunder Field! Searing Power! And then
This should do it!
When it is
You're
ready,
mine! It's time! No further! This is bad, right?
Yes, Alvin! Very bad!
I don't feel
This
so
has
good.
got your name on them!
Here's a healing orb! First aid! I'll fix you up!
What's this?
Alright!
You barely managed to turn that battle.
You don't need to sound surprised.
Crazy, don't mind
Perhaps
if I
I'll put
do.
more faith in you then.
Well, I certainly won't. I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Enemies income!
Demon's descent! Flashing fang!
Way to go!
Do it!
Burning strike!
Glacial dare!
Here's the
You're
EV!
mine! My turn!
Get on
No
it!
escape! Stardust!
Will this help that? Healing strike!
Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
Right. No escape!
Raging cascade!
It's over!
Reinforcements!
Take this!
Rolls in the wind!
I'm not done!
Air that'll bring you down!
Take this!
Now you see what I can do it!
More Zuko's?
Keep calm and take them down! Air thrust!
Can't get out of
My
this!
breath lightning condense! Thunder spear! Pierce
Here I
evil!
come! You picked the wrong
Freeze
fight!
laser! Ready to go! Far enough!
Crush! Strike!
I'm
It's over! Crush!
This'll come in
Destruction!
In here!
Fly! Inferno Punch! Swallow Blade!
Radiant, look! Now! Sky is mine! This one's mine!
Do
it! Law! Demons descend!
Flashing Fang! More?
I never miss!
Ruin Escape!
Not in your dreams!
I'll run you through! It's over! It's on!
Flame of Fury!
I'm not done! Not today!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There you go, Alphen!
More? It's time to end this battle!
I'm right beside you!
Now you see what I can do! You're finished! On it! Take this! Stop! Swallow Blade! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Ready? Here!
Bullseye, Shion! Nice!
Get out of my sight, Minor! You'll get hit! Get toasty!
Bird Strike!
Radiant Light!
Not a chance!
Here!
What? Now we're not...
Raging Star!
Can't get out of this!
I'm all stuffed up!
Yeah, Blossom! Here I come! Swallow Blade!
I'm ready!
New escape!
Here's the raging denied! Pierce evil!
Eat dirt!
Swallow dance! Spread!
You're mine!
Dance in the wind!
Storm! Crush!
Sleep now! Do it!
Fly!
Law! Demons descend!
Flashing Fang! More? Here I come!
It's
Not done!
more where that came from!
Destruction! You're on! Swallow Blade! Take this! No escape!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil! Raging Storm!
Destruction!
Light! This one's mine! That'll bring you
Dance!
down!
Rip it!
Do it!
Mine!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble! My turn!
Not
This
in
one's
your
all
dreams!
mine!
Radiant do it! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go! A flawless victory! Naturally!
See what I can do! Rolling down! You shouldn't have messed with me!
Freeze laser!
Eat dirt! Rolling snap! Here I come! No escape! Fly! I'm
Glacial Spear! Pierce
Can't
evil!
get out of this!
This is it! Leave the
More?
sleep now!
Do it!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Not a chance! Far enough! I'm not done! Dragon Rising Falcon!
I'm ready!
No escape! You're finished!
Wind Astral! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble! Not this
Light
time!
Astral energy!
Burn!
Spirit flame! Blossom!
You're mine! Away! Crush!
Lightning! Thunder field! Raging
Here I come! I'm on it! Talon Hurricane!
Now! Astral energy! Full throttle! With this, I can become even stronger.
Zoogles here are putting up a real fight.
That just goes to show how important this place is.
Or perhaps they simply thrived freely here under such harsh conditions.
The astral energy here is so dense. It's like trying to walk through water.
I know the Great Spirit's will is in the center of Rena, but with the world in this state, the entire planet has become its body, right? So doesn't that mean we're already inside it?
I would say that is horrifyingly correct. After all, the further we climb, the denser the astral energy becomes.
What's the matter, Rinwell? Are you not feeling all right?
No, it's nothing like that. It just feels like the energy here is a little more intense than it was before.
You mean Rena's energy?
Yeah. It's like when I made contact with Dana's will in the wedge. It's almost as though I can understand what Rena's will is thinking.
But Rena's will is supposed to be a lot stronger. Aren't we risking the Great Spirit controlling us if we interact with it directly?
I don't think we have to worry about that. Rena's will is only supposed to control true Renans, like the Helganquil. If we can discern what the Great Spirit is thinking too, we might learn something, a weakness. But just to be safe, let me contact it alone.
Are you insane? Rinwell, you're gonna...
Rinwell!
There was only meant to be one world. And your goal is to make them one. Is this fear? What just happened?
Are you all right? Rinwell? Rinwell, are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I think.
What were you thinking? You could have gotten yourself killed!
He's right. You had us all terrified, Rinwell.
I'm sorry. I really am. But I know now. I know how the Great Spirit thinks. I know what it wants, how it feels. Rena's Great Spirit wants to complete the world.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you saying it's trying to make something?
Yes, exactly. Originally, Dana and Rena were meant to be one world. But that never happened. They've stayed separated, and the Great Spirit wants to finish the process.
What do you mean, one world? How is that even possible?
I don't know, but its will is clear. That's what the Great Spirit is trying to accomplish. The only problem is that since Rena's energy isn't evenly spread like Dana's, it seems like it'll vanish before that happens naturally.
So it's trying to absorb Dana while it still can, so that it can force the two planets to unite. Is that what you're saying?
The Great Spirit is scared. But it's not scared the way a rational person would be. It's more raw and undiluted, like just pure fear.
Like an animal, acting out of instinct. Although admittedly, an animal would be easier to communicate with. At the very least, I have my doubts that it recognizes us as sentient beings with a reason for coming here. Earth, water, fire, and wind energy exist in both worlds, but only darkness and light can be found within Rena and Dana, respectively. The Renis Alma, as far as we know, the only host capable of harvesting the astral energy, is composed of all six. Knowing all that, Rinwell's findings do sound plausible.
That sounds a lot like Shion's thorns, doesn't it? The whole reason the Great Spirit is trying to unite Dana and Rena into one world is in order to save itself. And if her thorns are part of the Great Spirit, then they must also be trying to save themselves?
Alphen, what is it?
We thought the only way to free your thorns was for you to die. Yet despite that, they seem to be doing everything in their power to stop that from happening to you. Something wasn't adding up. But then I just realized something. If the Great Spirit doesn't want to die, then neither would your thorns. Those same emotions, that fear, that determination, and its energy must have been the same thing that was keeping you alive. You were its vessel.
In that case, is that why her thorns caused so much pain to anyone who touched her? Because they were trying to protect themselves?
If that's all true, then... well, it's more than a little ironic.
The Great Spirit merely expresses its desires. I imagine it was the Helganquil who were likely tasked with putting together and implementing an actual plan.
Shion.
I'm okay. We need to hurry and clean this mess up before it gets out of hand.
Still, even if the current state of the world is wrong like you said, does that really make everything okay?
If the world had been whole from the start, as it should have been, there'd be no Dana and no Rena, no masters or slaves, no lords, no crown contest, maybe just peace.
Lost!
I'm on! I'll work ready Armor won't save you!
Sleep now! More This flying creatures are a real pain in the butt! Hit a word! If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Oh, now you're talking!
Raging storm!
Destruction!
Nothing gets by me! Raging cascade!
Let's tear them up! Prepare to be seen! Burn!
I'll burn this one!
Strike!
Magic is in! I'll heal you all!
Take this!
Freeze Lancer!
Here I come!
Healing
You're
Storm!
You're finished!
Thank you for
Destruction!
together!
Rising Rider!
Now I'm in the groove!
Thanks for the healing. Watch yourself, okay? Yeah, you too.
Lancer!
Attack time! Destruction! It's finished!
Let's do it!
Destruction!
Here!
Crush!
Get on in there with the others!
What's this? I'm not done!
Ready!
It's over!
Big blast!
Not today!
These fists have got your name on them!
We're not done!
Destruction!
I'm just getting started!
Sleep now! Mega Ray coming handy! This one's mine!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Now I'm in the groove! You're mine!
Water!
Here's
the
your
card!
Take this!
Here's my
See what I can do!
I'll be saving this
Can't
one!
get out of this! You're finished!
Glacial Spear!
Now I'm in trouble!
Will this help?
It's on!
Lightning condemned! Healing circle!
Eat dirt!
Thunderblade! I owe you, Sion.
Healing is what my arts do best. All mine can do is cause havoc and destruction.
The enemy is
Outstanding
on
form.
too.
You'll soon see about that.
I'll heal you all!
Don't give up.
I feel like me. So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be a complaint.
No, that'd be silly.
Denied! I'll heal you all!
I owe you one. Here I come!
Expert coming through! Don't mind if I do!
Here I
Dance
come!
in the wind!
Strike!
Radiant drop here!
Do it! Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Hey, anyone else think this might be a touch too dangerous?
Ridwell's right. We should fall back to regroup and try again later.
To think, all this started because of the Great Spirit's desire to keep living. The only reason it craves energy is because it's dying from starvation. When you think about it like that, maybe the things it's done aren't so strange after all.
If Rena had been more like Dana, things would have worked out a whole lot better.
It's like Hevrecht 35 told us. The Danon and Renan spirits are meant to be completely different beings.
Rena's energy amassing in one place led to its developing a powerful will. But that also made it crave energy, sapping Rena dry until it perished.
Whereas Dana's energy is dispersed, meaning its will never developed to the same extent. And without that hunger, Dana the planet was spared.
As for which is correct, well, I'm not sure it's our place to even say. Still, I can't help but think it reminds me a lot of the dichotomy of the human condition.
Dichotomy? What do you mean?
Those who know not satisfaction are driven to keep devouring without limit. But those who are content with their lot in life rarely fulfill their potential. I imagine it's likely that the larger Rena's great spirit grew, the more and more powerful its hunger also became.
Everything in moderation. When all's said and done, maybe that's the hardest thing for people to learn.
Wherever we go on this planet, there are machines littered everywhere.
It's impressive to look at as a bystander, but I sure wouldn't want to live here with all of this around.
I know. What you mean? There are no fish here. I couldn't cook any of my delicious dinners for you all if we lived here.
Clearly the worst point against it.
Gotta break through!
Let you all down.
You'll pay for that!
Here's a healing art!
Crush! Rising Wyvern!
Let's end this and get a bite to eat instead.
Forgive you! Dance in the wind!
There you go.
Air thrust! Light axe raging! I never miss!
Let's end this and get a bite to eat instead.
It'll body slam us into next week!
Dispose of the trash.
Light astral energy! Raging cascade! Sighted! One more! Breath! Mega ray! Arts require complete focus!
Breathe. Get in, get out.
Hey! Who cares?
Poodle.
You'll pay for that! Whoa, away!
Leave the
Okay, guys,
charges
think
to
it's
me.
time to run. So those thorns of Shion's, they're really a part of Rena's great spirit?
Most likely, but only a small fragment of it in the big picture. I don't sense a will of its own emanating from them.
If it's that insignificant, is there that much point getting rid of it?
I think Toodle's hungry.
Funny. I could have sworn that was your stomach making all the racket.
That's a big Zoogle.
The sword-wielding Zoogle?
And not just one, but four!
It thinks 2 extra hands is enough to beat me. It's sorely mistaken!
Let's just focus on what's important. Outstanding form.
You're mine!
Glacial
I'm not
Shield.
done!
Here's
You
evil.
hear it now! You're mine!
Freeze Lancer.
Destruction! I'm not done!
I'll heal you all.
Destruction!
Quiver Dragon. Feel. Healing
Destruction! You'll pay for that!
I'll bring you back from death to this.
No escape!
Ready.
Resuscitation! Here I come! No escape!
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it.
Swallow dance! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
I'm ready.
Eagle assault! I'll take it!
Oh, now we're talking!
Chinese Supernova. Searing
Destruction!
Raging Cascade.
Away! You're finished!
Shadow Ray. Dance in the wind.
Armor won't save
I'm
you!
really done for. Prepare for
Here's a healing art.
Can't get out of
The
this!
enemy is going
Here
all
you
out.
are.
Far enough. Dance in the wind. Water.
Swallow blade! Iconic punch! Destruction!
Amazing.
Swallow blade! Talon hurricane! Try harder! It's on! Burn in hell!
This'll come in
I'm not done!
Dance in the wind.
Score!
I'm on the
You're mine!
Talon hurricane.
Destruction!
Mega ray.
Let your hair up!
Here's dance in the wind. Healing art.
Ready and not my fight.
Can't move!
Air thrust.
This should do it!
Dance in the wind.
Here I come!
Bring you back from death to
Destruction!
this. More for stop time.
Crush! I'm not done!
Resuscitation. Lightning. I'll heal you all. Light astral energy.
It's over!
Thanks for the healing.
Watch yourself, okay?
Yeah, you too.
Hear my call. I never miss. Sleep now.
Denied! You're mine!
Get
Strike!
on in there with the others.
Here's
Here's evil.
Destruction!
All right. It's showtime.
Destruction!
Thunder.
Swallow dance!
Here I go.
All finished here and now!
Dance in the wind.
All
Air thrust.
Take it!
Light astral lightning
It's
condemned.
over!
Sword.
I have no limits! Try
Fire
once again!
complete focus. Here, let's go.
Destruction! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'll heal you all.
It's on! Is this it?
Don't leave me. Lightning raging cascade.
let you all down.
I'll bring you back from death's abyss. Spread! Bring it!
Will this
Well, not in your dreams!
The picture of health.
Healing circle!
I owe you one.
I owe you, Xion.
Healing is what my art
Xion,
is at.
astral energy! Full throttle!
Crumble! It's time. No further. You're finished.
Leave the target to me!
You picked the wrong fight.
No
way! You're mine.
It looks like you got this one covered.
You're
Eat this!
I really owe you one.
They're not playing around.
I'll smash you!
You're mine.
Raging cascade!
You stay away from my crown. It's over.
I can feel the medicine working.
All three you here and now. It's over.
Sleep now.
Destruction.
Get on in there with the others. I'm all stuck up. Mega ray.
Destruction.
Lightning orb. I'll use the
Watch this. Take this. No escape. It's over.
Got it. Where are you going? Now's our chance.
Not today.
Art seal.
Take this.
Here, let me your dreams.
No further.
Anything over is all mine.
Destruction.
Smash you!
Take this.
Far enough. There you go. No less.
Is this it? This should do it.
Here, let me help.
This should do it. Stay away from my friend.
I'll bring
No escape. You're finished. Destruction. Try harder. My turn.
It's gonna smart.
Try harder. Now. Take the flame inside me yearns to be let free. Eat this.
Tactics are looking great.
Full speed ahead.
Hey, wait for law!
No escape.
That one's mine. That'll bring you down.
Now you see what I can
Close
do!
one. I'll heal you all.
Now I'm in the groove!
They're not playing around. Circle. Dance in the wind.
Okay, here I go.
I'm sorry to be a bother.
We've all got enough of them.
Yes, ma'am!
Here goes. Not on my
I'll bring you back from death today.
No more playing nice. There. House it.
Inferno punch!
Raging annihilation. Water. Hear my call. Lightning condensed. It's time to finish this. Die. Consuming wildfire. I'll bring you back from death's abyss. Shining supernova. Resuscitation. What the? Dance in the wind. Shining supernova.
Now, while it's reeling. No escape.
Take this!
Destruction.
Far enough!
Destruction. Totally. In an instant. Impact block.
It got rid of the swords!
Looks like I won after all.
Except it doesn't look like that thing's finished
Take
yet.
this.
By a long shot.
You're mine. The flame inside me yearns to be let free. Ha! Burn in hell! You're mine! I'm not done! You're finished! You're mine! Ha! Ha! Ah!
It's